Kokenauer.
Here.
Mr. Detweiler.
Here.
Mrs. Driscoll. Here. Mr. Harshman.
Here.
Mr. Martray.
Here.
Mr. Martucci.
Here.
Mr. Renzi.
Here.
Mrs. Sangston.
Here.
And Mr. Panzella.
Here. We can stand for a moment of silence. please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
motion in the minutes of the previous meetings.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Motion for treasurer's report.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Motion for the payment of the general and federal fund bills.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Motion for the payment of the cafeteria fund bills.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we'll move into public comment for agenda items. And we have a few, just to remind everybody, are 3-minute maximum. And our first one is Michelle Mowry, Schoology.
First, I'd like to thank the Director of Curriculum and/or the school board directors for listening to our concerns about the ELA site work issue that we had, and I talked about last month. It seems like a plan has been created that does address those concerns, so thank you for that. Also, the last 2 Act 80 days we had were very beneficial, at least at the elementary level. So thank you again to the Director of Curriculum and/or school board directors for that. I was hoping that's all I had to say tonight. Unfortunately, you put Schoology back on. So, for some reason, Schoology has made its way back onto the agenda. This is surprising because it was already voted down. It's also surprising that it's being a program to be voted on because it's listed as Power School on the agenda, not Schoology. It seems like someone didn't want the public to know that the topic of Schoology was back. At least that's what it seems like. I'm hoping that's not the case. Like I said last time this issue came up, we are a poor district and can't afford all these programs. I wish we could, but we just can't. Schoology is a waste of much needed money because Power School or Power Teacher takes care of grading and Google Classroom takes care of any online learning that you would like to use. However, we do desperately need that money to go for more staff and needed materials. 25 or more students in primary grades are way too many, especially kindergarten. In the grade level meeting that we had in one of those Act 80 days, every single kindergarten teacher agreed that class size is definitely a main issue. In fact, another teacher emailed all of you data about the benefits of a smaller class size. I hope you took the time to read that. Not only do we not have the staff needed, we also don't have the necessary supplies. Teachers have to buy pencils, erasers, glue, crayons, dry erase markers, scissors, paint, and I could show you receipts for over $1,000 worth of things. And I'm not, it's all of us. The district just isn't providing them for us. And I would bet that not one of you that's not self-employed uses your own money for needed, required materials to do your job. So why do you expect us to? Now, please vote no to Schoology and use that money for things that we really do need in the classroom. Thank you.
Thank you. Just look at the Power School. It does say Schoology.
On the agenda, the title is Power School.
But it does say Schoology.
After you read the definition and on the online version, you can click on it and read it.
I'm not online.
I am.
Next, we have, let's see, agenda items. Taylor Triggs, band director.
Yeah. As a soon-to-be high school graduate and an avid participant in our music program, I believe that the music department is not only a place for kids to express themselves and learn skills for life, but it is also a great learning tool that is applied to the core classes and elective classes. It has been scientifically proven that a strong music program boosts academic performance in all subject areas. The music program helps all students who participate to build core principles that are used in everyday life, such as discipline, teamwork, flexibility, and community, just like all other programs in the district. But the Music and Arts Department goes beyond to offer a place for students who have strengths and weaknesses in those skills to feel a sense of belonging. This is the mission of our district. Our program hosts the most diverse group of students. Graduates of our programs often go to college with their futures in mind, many following the path that they started in high school by going into music or participating in ensembles. These connections that we make in high school provide us the opportunities to be involved, grow school spirit, and provide us experiences and opportunities to grow as a well-rounded adult. Music has been scientifically proven to improve attendance at schools and develop critical thinking skills. In general, 75% of adults wish they played a musical instrument, and only 10% take music lessons. And since 2014, Connellsville has lost a significant amount of music teachers from retirement. Mr. Schultz, Ms. McFadden, Ms. Brady, Mrs. Duggar, Mr. Molinaro, Mrs. Groves, Mrs. Cuneo, and at the end of this year, Mr. Clark. Of those 7 retired positions, only 3 have been filled by Mrs. Jalot, Mrs. Maris, and Mr. Yancey, that leaving 4 unfilled positions. I don't feel that our enrollment has declined enough to validate these vacancies. With this many unfilled positions in our district, we have limited the amount of instruction hours and opportunities a student is offered, and we have diminished our music and arts departments. Our existing teachers are spread too thin, taking on too many roles and becoming unable to provide the required instruction. Looking at our elementary school band program now, we have 176 students in 2 grade levels, which is outstanding. And from what I remember was the same amount of students when I started with Mr. Schultz. 65 of these musicians come from Bullskin Elementary, which is currently headed by the former high school director, Mr. Yancey. With this many students involved with the program and only a 50% retention rate, which is 80 kids per grade, that would still at least quadruple the size of our current high school band program. With 18 graduating seniors, a very small junior, sophomore, and freshman class, that leaves approximately 25 students next year if all of them stay.
Give a minute.
That is an 8 to 10% retention rate. My band experience starting in 4th grade started with Mr. Schultz, who opened the door for my love of music. In 5th grade, he retired. So my love of music went away. In 6th grade, if the building switched, that's where we lose the most kids. I didn't have any open lesson periods or class periods to take any band classes, so I dropped out. 7th grade, I started back up again, and I followed through, but in 8th grade, there were only 20 kids left in my band class out of the 80 that I started with. Kids were not getting the attention they needed at the middle school for the lesson periods, and kids weren't excelling and they weren't learning enough, so they all dropped out. I feel that there is a need for a new band director at the middle school level so that there is an academic attention given to band students and somebody who will show them passion and be an inspiration to help kids to continue in their music careers. This is very important because I feel that this district should have a high school marching band to represent the community that is respectable for the size of our district and community that is also musically inclined. If these students don't make it through middle school, we will never have a respectable size high school band to represent Connellsville School District and its community. As a current band student, I feel so alienated coming from a marching band program in 2019 with 100 students that was a championship winner to now a band the size of 30 students with no reputable wins and does not represent our district with pride in just 4 short years. The pride in our program has left because we are lacking instructors who are passionate and inspiring about music and our entire secondary band level. My time as a student is coming to an end here at Connellsville, but I feel it is my duty that I owe it to the future students and my future kids to help inspire a new rebirth to our band program in hopes that someday Connellsville Band will rebuild and become inspiring and even better than before. Thank you.
Thank you. Lauren Dennis, Band Director.
Hello, I'm Lauren. I've been a member of the marching band for around 4 years now. I'll be a senior next year. And throughout my 4 years, I started in 8th grade. COVID hit in 8th grade. I didn't get to experience the same things that other kids did get to experience previously. We didn't go to competitions or anything like that, or even the football games. The next year after that, I became a drum major, and I was a freshman, which is not very common. However, I do think that being young has a great impact on making new things and growing and developing. I believe a couple of the band directors in the past have started at a young age. Mr. Yotzi began at the high school, even as an assistant at a young age. And I kind of had that same place in a way where I became a leader at a young age. And you learn a lot and you grow and develop. And I think that having someone new in this program, someone who it's their entire goal right now to create something of their own and also, share it with the rest of the students. And I'm also in the indoor program, the indoor percussion program, and that is being instructed by Mr. Anthony Domina, who I believe is a candidate for one of the directors, the new director to be chosen. I would just like to say that he has done such a good job this year with the program. I've really never seen it like this before. Any of the other years, it was COVID, or we couldn't finish it, or Mr. Yotzi didn't finish it at the end of his years, for whatever reason that may be. But this year, Mr. Domina made sure to give us a good show, especially the seniors, and to give us our confidence back. We've had such success at these competitions, and it's brought back a lot of confidence in me as well. And since I'm going to be a senior next year, I would really love to just do everything to the fullest extent, And also for these younger kids here, there's some really young members sitting over here with us right now. They have their whole high school career ahead of them. A couple 8th graders in here. They would love nothing more than to be in this marching band up until they're also seniors. But they can't have a fun and successful time if they don't have somebody there that's going to stay there. I've been through 2 different directors this past 4 years, and they had their pros and their cons in their own ways. But I will say that we need a new face here at Consul Area High School. And I believe Mr. Domina is a really good candidate for that. He was a student of Mr. Yotzi, and Mr. Yotzi was always about discipline, enthusiasm, believing in yourself, having self-esteem, and I believe Mr. Domina has those same goals, those same aspirations. He encourages everyone to do their best, and he sets the bar high for us because he knows we can do it. And we need someone to encourage us for that. We need someone to encourage us to do well. So I believe that we need to bring back discipline in the marching band, and it'll bring back confidence in the students. It will cause more people to join the marching band as well if they see our success. If we start winning at these competitions, or just in general improving and being more modern with it. I believe with a young face, somebody who's more up to date can provide more, fun aspects of marching band that we didn't previously have. So.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
That's all we have for agenda items. Moving to athletics, Mrs. Sangston.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Request approval of the 24-25 athletic supplemental contract. I second.
Motion and second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the 24-25 winter supplemental contract as proposed. I second.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to purchase 2024 WPIAL Team Wrestling Championship rings from Signature Championship Rings at a cost of $8,191.97.
Question?
Question?
How many rings are we?
Hold on one second, we need a second.
Second.
Okay, good, sorry first.
How many rings are we purchasing?
I'd have to look at the quote, I think it's right around 40.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to solicit bids for fall sports equipment and supplies.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have, Mr. Renzi. Mr. Martucci. Mr. Evans?
Nothing, thank you.
That's all we have, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Saxton. Moving to buildings and grounds, Mr. Detwiler.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. I'd like to request the conditional approval contingent upon successful submission of screening and background checks of the following substitute custodian for the 2000, year. Is it 2023, 24? Oh, still this year. Okay, 2023-24 school year. Jason Rice and Mike Mullins. I so moved.
Second.
A motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I request approval of the following event and building usage request. I'll spread 1 through 8. No problems. And that's so moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the following summer custodial employee, Hillary Clayton, and I so moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to solicit proposals for a feasibility study for the purpose of renovations to Dunbar Township Elementary School and any other applicable area of need that would come before the Board of Directors, and I so moved.
Second.
Motion is second. This is an addition.
This is an addition, so if there's any questions.
So it was posted.
Yes.
Okay. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have. Mr. Kokenauer.
Nothing, thank you.
Ms. Sangston.
Nothing, thank you.
And Mr. Bigelow.
Nothing at this time.
All right, thank you, sir. That's all we have, Mr. Panzella.
Thank you, Mr. Detwiler. Moving to Carnegie Free Library, Mrs. Driscoll.
We have nothing, there was not a meeting this past month at the library.
Nothing, thank you.
Nothing, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Driscoll. Moving to Collinsville Area Career and Technical Center, Mr. Kokenauer.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Request approval to purchase a paint booth from Cleveland Spray Booth Specialist Incorporated, Co-Stars number 0000559128 at a cost of $108,623 to include installation and removal of the old booth at a proposed $35,000 from the competitive equipment grant and $23,623 from the supplemental equipment grant. And I so move.
Second.
The motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have, Mr. Panzella. Mr. Detwiler.
Yes, sir. Mr. McWilliams, great job on that. I liked how you did use the other grant to get it all paid for. So instead of us trying to piece everything together, I think that's going to work really well. So thank you.
You're welcome. Ms. Sankey.
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. McWilliams.
Yeah, the only thing I have to add is I wanted to inform the board that our PDE-APE 339 review was held last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The debrief was held on Wednesday, and several committee members were able to attend, as well as the board president and superintendent. There should be a written report with any corrective actions and or recommendations within 30 days. And as soon as I receive that, I'll include that for the board to review.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all we have, Mr. Panzella. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kokenauer. Moving to curriculum, Mr. Martucci.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Request approval to renew no rating for the Collinsville Area Middle School at a cost of $11,250 as proposed, pending solicitor review, subject to the Collinsville Area School District's standard terms and conditions for the purchase of goods and services. I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the following professional employee travel, numbers 1 through 6 as proposed. I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval for the elementary course adjustments effective for the 24-25 school year. I so move. Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request to renew screen casting fee for the 2024-25 school year at a cost of $17,053 as proposed, pending solicitor review, subject to the Collinsville Area School District's standard terms and conditions for the purchase of goods and services, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to purchase mystery science packs for grades K through 2 at a cost of $15,327.80, pending solicitor review, subject to the Collinsville Area School District's standard terms and conditions for the purchase of goods and services, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of mystery science packs for grade 3 to 5 at a cost of $18,889.20. To be paid from ARP ESSER, 7% set aside funds pending grant approval, subject to the Collinsville Area School District's standard terms and conditions for the purchase of goods and services, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval for an agreement at a maximum of 3 years for New Seller for grades 3 through 12 at a cost of up to $184,782 to be paid from ARP ESSER funds pending grant approval and solicitor review in accordance with the corresponding proposal and subject to the Collinsville Area School District's standard terms and conditions for the purchase of goods and services, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval for an agreement at a maximum of 3 years for Renaissance Learning Star reading and accelerated reader at a cost of up to $172,713.48 to be paid from ARP ESSER funds pending grant approval and solicitor review in accordance with the corresponding proposal and subject to the Collinsville Area School District's standard terms and conditions for the purchase of goods and services, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval for an agreement at a maximum of 3 years for Renaissance Learning Star Math at a cost of up to $19,753.63 to be paid from ARP ESSER funds pending grant approval and solicitor review in accordance with the corresponding proposal and subject to the Collinsville Area School District's standard terms and conditions for the purchase of goods and services, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Question,
Question on the question.
with all these ESSER funds, have they been approved? Because it says upon grant
Today,
approval.
today we got approval from.
Always?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval for an agreement at a maximum of 3 years for Power School for the school GLMS at a cost of up to $77,616 to be paid from ARP ESSER funds pending grant approval and solicitor review in accordance with the corresponding proposal and subject to the Collinsville Area School District's standard terms and conditions for the purchase of goods and services, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
No.
Roll call.
Mr. Kokenauer?
Yes.
Mr. Detweiler?
Yes.
Mrs. Driscoll?
No.
Mr. Harshman?
No.
Mr. Martre?
No.
Mr. Martucci?
Yes.
Mr. Renzi?
No.
Mrs. Sangston?
No.
And Mr. Panzella?
Yes.
Motion fails.
Request approval for an agreement at a maximum of 3 years to purchase Amplify licenses for Diebels benchmarking for grades K to 2 at a cost of up to $33,080.58 to be purchased from ARP ESSER, 7% set aside funds, pending grant approval and solicitor review in accordance with the corresponding proposal and subject to the Collinsville Area School District's standard terms and conditions for the purchase of goods and services, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval for an agreement at a maximum of 3 years to purchase Amplify license for Diebels benchmarking grades 3 through 5 at a cost of up to $32,662.80 to be paid from ARP ESSER, 7% set aside funds pending grant approval and solicitor review in accordance with the corresponding proposal and subject to the Collinsville Area School District's standard terms and conditions for the purchase of goods and services, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval for an agreement at a maximum of 3 years to purchase amplified licenses for Diebel's benchmarking grades 6 to 12 at a cost of up to $32,000 to be paid from ARPS or 7% set aside funds, pending grant approval and solicitor review in accordance with the corresponding proposal and subject to Collins standard terms and conditions for the purchase of goods and services and SMP.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have. Mr. Detweiler.
So, for Schoology, I would like to just say I did vote for it no last time, yes this time. Only reason is, some people do use it, a lot of people have been using it, but it's a dead deal now. So I would just task the board to give Mr. Ghost some direction. We're gonna go with Google, we're gonna do something next month, or we're gonna go with Google Suite and pay the extra price and go straight Google or whatnot, because it's getting late. Plus, I wanna give all the teachers that have all their stuff built in Schoology, we gotta give them some help to learn to get that out of there and help that. And I know that it doesn't go straight into Google, I'm aware of that, but whatever we can do, I don't know if it's training day or something for next year or the end of this, summer, whatever we do, we gotta have to help those people. And I get some of the teachers, that's what they use, and it's gonna be upsetting, and I know that they followed the rules and put their lesson plans in, and now they're probably gonna say, hey, you're cutting my legs out from under me, why would I ever do anything ever again and build lesson plans? I get it. But I asked them to work with us with this, and let's move forward. And I think that that's gonna be the direction, and if I'm not mistaken, I doubt we're gonna do a Canvas or any other LMS, we're gonna look at Google. But I think we all need to make sure that by next meeting, we have something on this agenda and some direction for not only our admin, but our teachers that are using that. So that's how I task that. It's easy to say no, but it's fine. We just gotta make a decision and go forward. If not, we're gonna put a lot of people in limbo, and it's gonna be too late. We're gonna be into the school year next year. And I know part of that 339, right, was the first accolade we got was what? Mr. Spear.
Right.
He
Integrated Schoology.
integrated Schoology in his thing was the first thing that we got. So a gentleman like that spent probably hundreds of hours like Mr. Guthrie, we gotta work with these people and try to get them to figure out how we can do the same thing in Google. And that's all I have. Thank you.
I just wanted to add that we voted this down in February, and teachers have had 3 months to transfer their material over. Maybe they were hoping that we would change our mind, but they had that 3 months.
Did we make a motion to go to Google, or did we say we were gonna go to Canvas?
We already have Google.
Yeah, I know. What did we say we're gonna use for next year? We didn't give them any direction. I wouldn't have moved anything. That's why I'm saying we need direction.
I know what you're saying. The only thing I'm saying is, if we voted down Schoology, then they already had Google to put their work into it, that's all.
I think last month, I asked Mr. Ghost if he could give us an amount that it would cost us to do Google Plus. Is that what it is now?
So there's 3 price tiers in addition to what we already have with Google Classroom. One is $3 per student, one is $4 per student, and one is $5 per student. And the features that I believe our teachers are looking for are in that $5 per student price package.
Mr. Ghost, did they have the $5 package 3 years ago when we first introduced Schoology?
No, so they've added features, and they realized that they weren't making any money off of the features they were adding, so they figured out different price points to add these.
So did they add features though that weren't available 3 years ago?
There are features, yes, and there's announced features that have not been rolled out yet. But for any kind of SIS integration, we've got to pick either the $4 or the $5 option. So.
Okay, well, our full program work under Google Plus?
So I met with Mrs. Shreve about this, and she showed me how Edgenuity, that's the program that's used for 5 through 12 FOLA. She showed me how that platform works, how when a student gets stuck on an assignment, she's able to go in and move that student on to the next assignment. That functionality does not exist in Google Classroom. The ability to differentiate instruction that exists does not exist in Google Classroom to that same level. So there are things that, you know, you're not talking about a full-featured learning management system. So there are things that it will not be capable of doing.
And do we use full feature in Schoology now?
We weren't using Schoology for FOLA.
No, okay, just for the regular classroom.
So we've been using, the first thing that we did was the creation of assignments in Schoology. And then a year later, we introduced assessments in Schoology. We are not using, well, I don't want to say we're not. It has not been introduced yet to the teachers on how to align that to the state standards, on how to use the workload balancing. I mean, there's a ton of features that we just haven't had time to introduce.
Are they complicated to use?
No.
The big question is, in the last 3 years, has Schoology improved student learning?
It has the potential
I
to.
know you can't answer that, but I'm just saying, that's the question that I have in my mind, that's all. And every teacher would ask the same thing, okay?
Dr. Coons, you have any?
No, I have one.
Thank you.
I have one quick question. Mr. Ghost, could you get us a list of what the $4 feature includes and what the $5 feature includes?
Yeah, I shared that with my committee at our, not our last meeting, but the meeting before that. So, but yeah, I can pass that on to you.
Yeah, I would appreciate that. That way we know exactly what we're looking at and we can make intelligent decisions.
Nice, am I allowed to say something?
Way it's going tonight, my
I mean,
Order pizza soon, too.
I'll bring the cooler in. We pay for a lot of things that aren't used and aren't improving student learning, and I know that's a concern. Maybe that's something to look at is, look and survey all the programs that we are paying for and see what the percentage of usage is across the district, and then make a decision.
May I speak? I send out a survey every May with those tools listed, and last year I got about 130 responses. So, I mean, that's how I steer my decision-making. That's how we steer our Act 48 planning, is based on which of those platforms are used. So,
Is the board aware of those results? Like, so they can make educated decisions on what platforms?
I share that as, I mean, when I put items on, yeah.
My first question is going to be, how many do you send out if you get 130 back, probably?
I send it out to all the teachers. It's a Google form. I send that out district-wide every May.
300?
Yeah.
We don't have 300 teachers that are teaching.
You tell me what the number is, and that's how many I send
It's
out.
not 300. I mean, we have principals, nurses, guidance, phys ed, tech ed support, art, music, gifted librarians, home ec. They're not using anything. They're teachers, but they're not using a learning management system. Elementary commuter, elementary guidance, social workers, all those people, speech and hearing, they don't use anything with learning management systems.
Those schools around this area that I've inquired, they use Google Classroom. They really don't need any other learning management system. That's what I found out. Cost-wise, it's not that much.
Well, I think Mr. Detweiler had the right idea. We need to come up with a new system, not a new one. Bring back Google Plus, see what the cost is, see what advantages it has.
We already have Google, we have nothing to bring back.
We want to see what the integration is with level 3, 4, and 5, and then we'll make an educated decision on how to go forward. We'll pull everybody-
We were given handouts at a meeting we had with, what's the name of your committee?
Liaison.
Yeah, liaison. And we were given handouts that everything listed with all the advantages of the Google Classroom. If anyone took the time to read it, it was pretty comprehensive.
Well, that's which way we're going, so. We beat that horse to death. Let's go.
Mr. Martucci, you have anything else?
No, I'm good.
Cyber, Mr. Martre.
Thank you, Mr. Manzo. I have nothing this evening. Mrs. Driscoll, do you have anything?
Nope.
Mr. Harshman?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Ghost?
Nothing, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martre. Moving to federal programs, Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. I have nothing. Mr. Renzi? Mr. Martucci?
No, sir.
Dr. Coons?
I have nothing, thank you.
We have nothing, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harshman. Moving to finance, Mr. Renzi.
I have a little bit. Request approval of the following donations to the CAHS Bible Club from Tom and Vicki Nicewanger for $20, Jason and Amy Riccio, $60, and donation of $500 from Ford Office Technologies to be used for the 3rd annual Transition Fair. And I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the attached requisites and orders and to authorize district business office to process purchase orders and payments. And I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval for the health insurance rate increases through the Allegheny County Schools Health Insurance Consortium, effective July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025 for the following plans. Performance Blue PPO, 9% increase. Performance Blue EPO, 9% increase. Standard Dental, 5% increase. And Davis Vision, 3% increase, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to exonerate, waive, and forgive the delinquent taxes on parcel 40-01-0090 for tax years 2021, 22, and 23 in the total amount of $4,498.01, conditioned upon both the Borough of Vanderbilt obtaining fee, simple title to the aforesaid property, and the Borough of Vanderbilt and County of Fayette exonerating, waiving, and forgiving their respective delinquent taxes for the years 2021, 22, and 23 on the aforesaid property. In the event that both conditions are not met, the aforesaid delinquent taxes shall remain a tax lien against the aforesaid property, and entry shall be made in the public records to such effect. The exoneration and forgiveness may be memorialized in a written agreement prepared and approved by the district solicitor. I hope everyone understood that. And I so move.
A motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to transfer all district depository accounts with the exception of any Pliget account to Mid-Penn Bank in accordance with and acceptance of the proposal of Mid-Penn Bank. And I so move. And I so move.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion
No.
carries.
No.
Roll call.
Mr. Detweiler?
Yeah.
Mrs. Driscoll?
Yes.
Mr. Harshman?
No.
Mr. Martre?
Yes.
Mr. Martucci?
Yes.
Mr. Renzi?
Yes.
Mrs. Sangston?
No.
Mr. Kokenauer?
Yes.
And Mr. Panzella?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Anything, Mr. Detweiler?
Nothing, sir.
Mr. Kokenauer?
No, thank you.
And Mrs. Robinson?
Nothing, thank you.
That's all I have, Mr. Panzella.
Thank you, Mr. Renzi. Moving to food service, Mrs. Sangston.
Thank you, Mr. Pinto. Request approval of the 24 summer food sites. Ruskin Township Elementary, 125 Pleasant Valley Road, Connellsville. West Crawford Elementary School, 215 Falls Avenue, Collinsville. Springfield CNP Elementary School, 14 Schoolhouse Road, Normalville. Collinsville Community Center, 201 East Fairview Avenue, Collinsville. From June 24 to August 2nd, 2024, from 11:30 to 1. Adult pricing is $4.75. And I so move.
Second.
The motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have. Mr. Mortry?
Nothing.
Mr. President?
Nothing.
Mr. Trenton?
Just preparing for the end of the year and also looking, again, we're starting, everything for summer feeding programs, so working on a couple of things.
Keep it what?
That's all I have.
That's why you got that bad shoulder. That's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sexton. Moving to personnel and review and liaison, Mr. Renzi.
Request a conditional approval contingent upon successful submission of screening and background checks of the following additions to the professional substitute list for the 2023-2024 school year. Kate Cabal, emergency, and Macy McMaster, emergency, and I so move.
Second.
The motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request a conditional approval contingent upon successful submission of screening and background check of the following addition to the support personnel substitute list for the 2023-2024 school year. Cameron Primus, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the retirement of Robert Swink, custodian, effective June 30th, 2024, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the retirement of Gay Hare, A, effective May 29th, 2024, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the retirement of Michael Lilly, maintenance, effective June 30th, 2024, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the resignation of Anna Marie Rosenberry, A, effective April 19th, 2024, and I so move.
Second.
The motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the resignation of Jacqueline Johnson, truant officer, effective June 6th, 2024, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the resignation of Vicki McWilliam, accounts payable and superintendent and board secretary, effective April 26th, 2024, and I so move.
Second.
The motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval for Sandra Crescetti and Diana DeWitt, CAESPA officers, for release time on April 19th, 2024, to accept the PSEA ESP House of Delegates with cost to be reimbursed by PSEA, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval for Connie Cumberland, age, to take a leave of absence effective April 2nd, 2024, until on or about May 3rd, 2024, and I so move.
Second.
The motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to cast a vote for John Detweiler in a runoff battle for the Eastern Region School Board Member Administrative Trustee position on the Allegheny Schools Health Insurance Consortium, and I so move.
Second.
The motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Good luck, John.
That's why you had 9% rate increase there, because I didn't get
We
there.
were going to table that.
You can do it, you're the man. Okay, the following family and medical leave acts are confirmed by the board. Nancy Culver, aide, effective April 10th, 2024, intermittently as needed for the remainder of the 2023-2024 school year. Crystal Tedrow, aide, effective April 2nd, 2024, intermittently as needed for the remainder of the 2023-2024 school year. And Mia Sarnelli, LTS teacher, effective April 8th, 2024, intermittently as needed for the remainder of the 2023-2024 school year, and I so move.
Second. Motion and a second, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the memorandum of understanding between the Connellsville Area School District and the Connellsville Area Educational Support Personnel Association regarding autistic support team, and I so move.
Second.
A motion and a second, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the retirement of Joni Wizolowski, aide, effective May 29, 2024, and I so move.
Second.
A motion and a second, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the retirement of Ann Ward, cafeteria, effective May 31st, 2024, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the retirement of Jeff Fuller, custodian, effective June 30th, 2024, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the resignation of Luann Fabian, teacher, effective July 1st, 2024, and I so move.
Second.
A motion and a second, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Detweiler.
Mrs. McWilliams, just want to say that you will be sadly missed. I will say from my time as board president, I counted on you. You basically ran the board there while we were running around. Everybody knows that we always needed something, we always called you, but I wish you luck in your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Mr. Martucci.
I'm good, thank you, sir.
I know you're good. Mrs. Kokenauer.
Nothing else.
Mr. Evans.
Nothing, thank you.
I also want to thank Mrs. McWilliams, long time service, and a lot of the other people that are retired, the custodians, aides, maintenance, teachers, all the support staff, they all play a very important, vital role in our school district, and I appreciate their long time service. Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Penzell.
Thank you, Mr. Renzi. Moving to policy and legislate.
Sorry to interrupt, but I had to work.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
But you must have to read something.
Stay close to your phone.
Sorry for the interruption.
Mr. Mortray, policy and legislate. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Penzel. We have nothing on the agenda tonight. Mr. Driscoll, you have anything to add?
No, thank you.
Mr. Hartman?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Evans?
Nothing, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mortray. Moving to safety and security. Mrs. Driscoll.
We have nothing. Mrs. Sexton?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Carlin?
Not present.
That's all. That's all, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Driscoll. Moving to special education, Mr. Harshman.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Item 21A, grant. Request the Connellsville Area School District to accept the Autism Initiative Grant through Patent for the 2024-2025 school year, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I have one question on that, Mr. D'Amico. In that grant, is that including money to move kids from Dunbar Township to West Crawford?
It would not include money to move rooms, if that's what you're asking.
Pardon me?
To move space?
Yes.
No, it would not.
How do we go about doing
You
that?
have to provide the money for the rooms.
And you haven't put that on the agenda yet?
We have not budgeted for that yet at our budget meeting.
Okay.
In the business office. We did budget last year for monies for our autistic support room that we did create. So we'll have to budget for monies for next year as well.
Yeah. And that was, we were told that we had to go 2 years in that program,
2 years in what program?
in the autism program that we were running in Dunbar Township. We couldn't do anything, we couldn't move the kids for 2 years.
I'm not sure who provided you with that information.
You didn't, Mr. D'Amico.
No, I did not, sir.
That's all I have for that, thank you. Item 21B, conference. Request for Nick D'Amico to attend the Special Education Leadership Conference in Gettysburg from July 9th to the 11th, with all costs paid through the Patents Comprehensive Support Grant. And I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 21C, request approval of the agreement between New Directions and the Connellsville Area School District for educational services for the 2024-2025 school year as per diem of $150 per day per student. And I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Committee meeting was held April 10th, 2024 at 2 p.m. That's all I have, Mrs. Driscoll.
I have nothing, thank you.
Mr. Martre.
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. D'Amico.
I have nothing, thank you.
That's all we have, thank you.
Mr. George, I'm just asking, I was at the meeting. Do you guys talk about these things instead of here at the meeting?
Sometimes. It was kind of brought to my attention late that we were moving kids from Dunbar Township to West Crawford. And I just wanted clarification. I know there's people here tonight that would also like to have the clarification.
I just think that two-year question is something you should ask at your committee and have your answer here that you would know.
I have no
Instead of
problem with
putting an
answering,
administrator.
asking him a question right now.
Well, I guess you did.
That's right.
Moving to student services, Mrs. Driscoll.
Thank you. Virtual cohort request for Jennifer Sanzo, Nick D'Amico, and Nick Bosnick to participate in Hatching Results Virtual District Leadership Cohort from August 2024 through June 2025 at a total cost of $2,500 paid through the ARP ESSER funds. And I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Training request for Nick D'Amico and Marcy Kinty to attend the virtual training educational impact school-based speech and language services that work on May 17th at no cost to the district, and I so move.
Second.
The motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request the Connellsville Area School District to purchase a 20-hour EdInsight coaching package at a total cost of $4,800 paid through the ARP ESSER grant. And I so move.
Second.
The motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Chestnut Ridge, request for Chestnut Ridge to offer question, persuade, and refer training to staff of the Connellsville Area School District on August 8th, with all costs paid for through Title II funding. And I so move.
Second.
The motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request for Melissa Brownfield, Penn State Outreach Coordinator, to offer youth mental health first aid 101 trainings on July 18th and August 18th to 6th through 12th grade staff of the Connellsville Area School District, with all costs paid for through the ARP ESSER funds.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request for Fayette County Drug and Alcohol Commission to provide positive action training for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade staff of the Connellsville Area School District on July 22nd and August 6th, with all costs to be paid for through Title II funds, and I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the student teacher assignment with St. Vincent College for the fall 2024 semester, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request for the license agreement between Smart Futures and the Connellsville Area School District at a total cost of $10,080 paid through the Ready to Learn grant, subject to the Connellsville Area School District's standard terms and conditions for the purchase of goods and services. This is the same price as last year, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Travel, request approval of the following travel, and I'd like to incorporate all the items 1 through 17 together, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And then the supplemental contract, we're going to place a motion on the table that the marching band director supplemental let me say that again. When a motion to table the marching band director supplemental contract, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And the Student Services Committee was held April 10th, 2024 at 3 p.m., and that's all I have. Mrs. Sangston, do you have anything else?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Kokenauer?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. D'Amico?
Yes, I'd just like to thank Ford Office Technologies for funding our third annual transition fair this year that we had on Monday. It was very successful. Thank you to them for funding the lunches for our vendors that came in. Thanks.
Thank you, Mrs. Driscoll. Moving to technology, Mr. Detweiler.
Thank you, Mr. President. Request approval to authorize the sale of surplus Chromebooks at a cost of $50 to graduating seniors until June 14th, 2024, and to district staff until June 28th, 2024, and individual members of the general public thereafter on a first-come, first-served basis, with individuals being eligible to purchase 2 Chromebooks per person, and I so move.
Second.
A motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to purchase digital document storage and delivery from Power School at an annual cost of $8,601.75 with a one-time setup fee of $3,265, and I so move.
Second.
Okay.
A motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Mr. Ghost, would you explain what all that's going to do then to the district?
Question?
Yes, sir. So we discussed this in our technology committee meeting. What this is cloud-based storage for every student. What we plan on using this for will be delivery and storage of every report card, kindergarten through 12th grade, plus the storage of transcripts for our graduating students, and then parents and students will have access to this at all times. So it worked out to be about $2 and some odd cents per student.
Thank you.
So I had a motion and a second. Is there any more questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Information item, we had a committee meeting on April 17th, 2024 at 11 a.m. Mr. Morcheri, anything else? Nothing. Mr. Horshman?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Ghost, anything additional?
Nothing else, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Panzel. That's all we have.
Thank you, Mr. Detweiler. Moving to transportation, Mr. Kokenauer.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Request approval, updates to bus van driver list is attached. And I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
We had a transportation committee meeting, were held on April 4th and April 18th, 2024. That's all I have, Mr. Panzella. Mr. Renzi, anything?
No, sir.
Mr. Ellis?
Nothing else, thank you.
That's all we have, Mr. Panzella. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kokenauer. On the President's report, we have the PSBA membership. Request approval to continue the district membership for the 2024-2025 school year with Pennsylvania School Board Association Incorporated at an annual cost of $15,622.94, which includes membership, policy maintenance, and administrative regulations as budgeted through board services, dues, and fees. This will be an increase of $620.62, and I so move.
Second.
A motion is second. All those those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we request approval to appoint Jen Helms as interim board secretary until further notice, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. That's all I have. Next, we will move into public comment for non-agenda items. And, it's the same thing for the 3 minutes. I know I probably gave the younger people a little bit longer, but first we'll have Deanna Riley. Autism room, I'm sorry.
Good evening, members of the school board. I'm Deanna Monjel Riley, the autistic support teacher at Dunbar Township Elementary School. Before I begin, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude for your dedication and support for our district and for our incredible students. I'm here today to address the proposed relocation of our classroom from Dunbar Township Elementary to West Crawford Elementary. The majority of my students are currently in kindergarten, nonverbal, and they have found comfort and stability in our current classroom. It's where they've not only learned and grown academically, but also formed trusted bonds with staff members and made remarkable progress. And I'm immensely proud of each and every one of them. The proposed move to West Crawford presents significant challenges for my students. Children with autism thrive on routines, making it difficult for them to adjust to new environments. They thrive on consistency and are accustomed to the conveniences of our building and our classroom. From what I understand, West Crawford lacks several essential facilities such as an in-classroom bathroom. All of my students have toileting needs, and not having access to a bathroom within the classroom would pose a considerable challenge. We currently have all of our toileting supplies such as pull-ups, diapers, wipes, and changes of clothes in our current bathroom. I'm unaware if the relocation would allow us this convenience. Additionally, the absence of calming and a sensory room at West Crawford would deprive my students of vital resources that they rely on for emotional regulation and support. Along with this, our current classroom has direct access to a fenced-in playground. There are often times that we struggle with transitioning, so having to transition through a hallway to access the playground is another concern. Our current classroom is more than just a place to learn. It's a safe space where my students feel understood and supported. I believe that moving my students to West Crawford Elementary without necessary accommodations would disrupt their routines and hinder their progress. Additionally, the relocation would result in the loss of valuable staff members. Due to personal reasons, some of our staff members are unable to relocate to the new location. These staff members have been essential to the success of our classroom, and their departure would be a significant loss for both our students and for our team. I urge the board to carefully consider the impact of this move on our students and staff. They deserve a stable environment where they can continue to learn and grow. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you for having the voice of the ones that don't have a voice.
Thank you.
Next, we have Amy Riccio. Sorry if I pronounced that right. Prom tickets.
Yes. So I just wanted to address the board and the community in regards to prom tickets and the entry fee for Grand March this year. The prom tickets have increased by $10. So last year they were $60, they've increased to $70 this year. And we've also decided to implement a $2 entry fee for Grand March for public attendees who are coming. So I wanted to just kind of go over the reasons behind that because I had some questions on that. So, you know, I mean, we can all understand that prices are increasing everywhere. And I wanted to go through some of those price increases so everyone's aware. The buses, we take coach buses from here to Stratago's Banquet Center over in North Huntington. Those buses last year were $800. This year those buses are going up to $900 per bus. So we typically take 8 to 10 buses, depending upon how many students we have. So that would be an increase of $800 to $1,000 for 8 to 10 buses. So, you know, we're looking at, like, our bus bill is almost $10,000 to transport our students to prom. Once we get the bus drivers there, the chaperones, the adults, every adult that's there at Stratago's, there's a cost associated with that. So they don't comp the bus drivers' meals or anything like that. All of that comes out of the prom committee's budget. Any workers that are there, the DJ, the photographer, security, any chaperones that we take, we pay for every adult, every student who attends the prom. The DJ that we use for Cinderella is the DJ that we're going to use for prom. The students really seem to like him. His prices have also increased, but you know, you're a prom, one of the most important things is the music, and the students really seem to like him. So yeah, his prices have increased, but you know, that was a sacrifice we were willing to make. Our prom's been at Strategos for as long as I've been involved or helping with the prom. They've been really great to work with, and they've tried to keep our prices the same each year. They have tried to put room fees on us that we've been successful to kind of ask them to not increase or not add those room fees. And then they try to add different fees associated with different like parts of the meal. And because of our long-standing relationship with them, we've been able to keep those fees with Strategos at bay. But you know, those could increase at any time as well. This year, the committee decided to include a slow motion photo booth. And so this is something new that the committee wanted to do. And the students are really excited about it. You know, they want to have a great prom and offer, you know, some fun and new things for their peers. And so, you know, obviously that's an expense as well. Our favors that we're working with come out of a company out of Mount Pleasant, and the shipping costs have been astronomical when we've used this company in the past. The gentleman, I believe, who owns the company has been really good at, like, he's helped us with shipping costs. I believe he has some ties to Connellsville. So, you know, we've had to kind of work with negotiating with him as well whenever we use his company. So, you know, you can see that planning and executing a prom and keeping costs down is not easy. So we have a committee of students who have traditionally fundraise and try to keep the cost of the tickets down. We have a snow court who also in January, February, whenever we have that winter sports week, has raised money. And I reported at the basketball game that night, they had raised over $7,000. So between our snow court and our prom committee, it's, you know, when you're looking at 400 to 500 students that attend prom, it's a small group of students that are fundraising to lower the cost of the tickets. And so that's why we decided to implement a $2 entry fee this year to kind of help alleviate some of those costs and the burden of small groups of students trying to raise money for 400 to 500 students. So, you know, we felt that $2 was a fair price to charge, and that it, you know, our intention was never to make it a hardship on any families, but to just try to keep the price of the prom tickets as cost effective as we can for all of our students. And like I said, the buses have been one of the most expensive things, and I know it's been our tradition to transport our students for safety reasons, and I think that that's you know, a luxury that we have in our school that some other neighboring districts don't have, and I think that's a good thing that we continue that. But I just wanted to go over those prices, the $10 price increase this year, and then also the $2 entry fee for the public who will be attending. For those people who can't attend Grand March, it will be live streamed. Mrs. Irwin and her team, I believe, are going to be live streaming that. So you know, that will be offered for people who can't attend Grand March, or you know, distance might be an issue as well.
I have a question.
Yes.
So why did you wait to the last minute to put this $2 in? Why didn't you think of this before? Because everything is already paid for.
So
why are you doing it now? Why didn't
well,
you wait till next year?
Everything's not already paid for. I can assure you that, and I mean, I could go through bills with you and show you that things are not already paid for. You know, typically, our committee would have done maybe another fundraiser at this time, so this $2 entry fee kind of covers a minimal fundraiser that our small committee would have done to raise that extra additional money. This topic did come up at the beginning of the school year. You know, and we kind of, to be honest, the entry fee that came up was higher than what we went with. So we were trying not to go with something that would be a burden for families. But it did come up, and I know also that, you know, I know that it was something that Mr. Evans wanted to okay with you all as well before that was something that we put out to the public. So I
The
waited.
board has nothing to do with that. Just to let the public know, we have nothing to do with the promo. We have nothing to say about that. That was your $2 idea, not ours.
So I can tell you that at the beginning of the year, when I knew that the bus prices had increased, Mrs. DeWitt had told me that the bus prices had increased by $100 per bus. One thing that I had asked was for Mr. Evans to approach the board and ask if there would be any, like not to pay the entire bill, but to be, maybe to pay the difference in the cost of, you know, whether it be $800 to $1,000 difference that we were increasing. And from my understanding, that was not something the board wanted to take on, which I understand. So, you know, the fix was to implement a $2 entry fee per person for Grand March. So, you know, if mom and dad come, it would be less than $5 for mom and dad to come and see their children.
But the point is, if you thought about it in the beginning, why didn't you tell these people? These people have a military ball the week before. Then they have the prom. Bay County is one of the poorest counties in Pennsylvania. You should have been able to tell them a lot sooner, because people have a budget. And that $2 for somebody is a lot of money. It might not be for you, it might not be for them, but these two over here, it's a lot of money. And they, you know, that poor girl might have only been able to spend $25 on a gown because her family has no money. So you should have done it in the beginning instead of doing it late and making hardships on some of these families. That's what I gotta say.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Assistant to the super, that's all we have for non-agenda items. Assistant to the superintendent.
I have nothing to say.
Mr. Evans?
Just two quick things. While we're sitting here tonight, our track coach texted me and let him know on the way back from Ringgold that the boys are the undefeated section champs for track this year, so congratulations to them. Just one more time, I want to jump on the bandwagon and acknowledge longtime superintendent and board secretary Vicki McWilliams, who will be moving on to another job. We'd like to thank her for all of her contributions to the school district. Thanks, Vicki.